It's time for Coffee with Catalyst. Here's your host, Rich Ezzo.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're speaking with Dan Beater. Dan is Vice President of Client Services here at Catalyst. He's going to be speaking at the Enterprise Search Summit in November about enterprise search. So we wanted to talk to him a little bit about what he'll be presenting there. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So let's say I'm going to this conference in November in DC. Who's the perfect person to show up at your presentation, and why would that be?
Well, I think it's anyone who's considering moving to enterprise search, whether that's someone considering it for a large-scale company with multiple products and divisions, or someone who's looking to do it for a smaller-scale company. I think the learnings and the examples we'll show will be relevant to everybody.
So, Dan, enterprise anything presents a lot of challenges. What about specific to this space? What are some of the biggest challenges they face?
Well, we'll tackle a bunch of them, and in particular, we'll start with whether companies should approach search from a centralized perspective or a decentralized perspective. And it's a model that, again, will work for many different companies, but the key is, or the key concern within that, is whether or not you want to distribute search expertise. In a centralized function, one group would theoretically own search for the company, and that group then needs to be able to socialize those requirements, hold people accountable for them, set standards for the company. And in a decentralized model, that responsibility would be given out to the various divisions or people running various products. And so in doing that, you have to create multiple search experts with different agendas, but all looking towards setting for their brands and their products or their divisions a remit. And in a centralized perspective, it's one person or one group, and in decentralized, that responsibility is spread throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll tackle that, and we'll
Okay.
look at the pros and cons of that. What works best for some might not work best for others. But that's a major hurdle that a large-scale
sure.
company needs to think through.
So what types of questions would you be answering during this that people will be bringing with them?
Sure. Well, they'll be wondering, again, what are the pros and cons of centralized versus decentralized? We'll have to probe into what type of culture the companies have, what their infrastructure looks like, what are the enablers for each, and we'll go through what are the enablers that might give you more preference towards one versus the other. And then we'll tackle the agency structure. Many companies right now have 10, 12 search agencies working for them, and in a decentralized environment, oftentimes you have multiple agencies because each one, each brand, each product will have a search agency working for them. We'll explore whether or not that's a good model or the differences between that type of model and one where you go down to maybe one or two agencies supporting the large enterprise. So we'll talk about the pros and cons of that. And once we move forward from that, we'll share from our experience how companies have gone from 12 to potentially one or two, and the criteria and the pathing and what you should challenge those who are looking to be the one or two that serve for you and your company, what those challenges should be, how you can evaluate them, what are the factors that you need to be on the lookout for. And then lastly, once you've selected the one or the two, we'll share with you ways in which you can hold them accountable, ways in which you can onboard them and drive success long term.
So you're going to tell people the right way to do it, is it?
No, we're going to tell people that there are multiple ways of doing it that are correct. And I think a lot of factors play into that, whether it's culture, whether it's the infrastructure that you have in place, the staff you have in place. There's no right answer per se. It's more a matter of finding out what's the best answer for the day, what's the best answer for the infrastructure and the capabilities that you're looking to drive within your company.
So if you're with an enterprise company, I encourage you to go see Dan's presentation in DC on November 7th. But now, it's time for
Coffee with Catalyst Comedy Corner.
All right, I know this will be your favorite segment.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us, Dan?
Well, I won't tell you my favorite joke, but I'll tell you a joke that my kid just recently told me, which was, how come the food critic could never get anything done?
The food critic could never get anything. I don't know.
He would always bite off more than he could chew.
Wow. Dan won't be telling jokes at the summit, but he will be telling you all about enterprise search. Thanks for being here.
Join us next time for another edition of Coffee with Catalyst, right here at catalystsearchmarketing.com.